Look at that, look how dreary jumper is. Compared to... like a geography teacher or something, look how... Very bland. Or is it? Because shoulders give it a little bit of something, don't they? Shoulders give it a little bit of... bit of TV... A bit of 80s TV shoulders in it. 80s TV shoulders, sort of like a geography teacher middle bit. That's how we roll. Hello and welcome. I'm just going to fly through this. I'm not going to waffle on too much because I know what I'm like. I've even done a few notes because I had to. Because what this, you'll know from the title that this is the top 8 best meals that we've cooked outdoors, myself and Joey D, or just myself. But what I did, I spoke to Joey D and got some ideas from him of what he thought was his favourite. I ignored them and I just went fully with what I thought. I took that into consideration. Joseph von Diddlesprouts. Right, let's just jump into it. It's the top 8 and this is for different reasons. It's not just necessarily the culinary skills behind it or the food itself. It's the situation and the meal as a whole. So I'm going to start at 8 and I'm going to work my way up to number 1. At number 8, coming in at number 8, we've got Joey D's blueberry pancakes. These were delicious because Joey D had took the time, and I didn't know he'd took the time to do it, to prepare all the stuff and bring it out. And we never normally do sweet stuff, so it was a lovely morning treat to have with our coffee, and one that the one that sticks in my mind. And a good little start at number 8. Number 7, sticking with the sweet theme, was when I cooked up I cooked up a couple of desserts. I was practicing doing desserts on the Bush box. I did banana with chocolate buttons in it and then cinnamon pineapple, and it was delicious and one that's scorched into my mind when I think about things that I've enjoyed. That's one, and I think that's the only real sort of dessert really that's on there, so big up that one in at number 7. In at number 6 is a recent one, which is the fish and chips that I cooked out in the woods. That is on the list because it's, there was a bit of forward thinking going into that one, and I just went out specifically to cook it up. And I did it because it's sort of synonymous with the seaside and Whitby where I grew up. And I sort of nailed it and it tasted delicious, so that's on there. Number 5. I hope I'm putting little graphics up on the screen when I do this, if I can be asked. I hope I've done that anyway. Note to future Hazo, do that mate, do that. Make sure you put numbers on there because it'll look good. Because I'm flying through these. I hope I've got some stuff to interject with. I will do. Anyway, waffling, I'm not even on sauce. Right. Number 5 is an absolute piscatorial medley. We had a full salmon and did it sort of traditional style, cooked it over the fire. We had sea bass, mussels. It was an absolute culinary delight, man. It was, and we just spent such a lovely day, and one that I'll remember. And that's one of the ones that Joey D said when I told him about that I was going to do this video of top 8. He said that one, and I'd forgot it slipped my mind. And I was like, yeah, that salmon was pretty cool. That was really good, in fact. Yeah, that's well worthy of being there. Number 4. Number 4 is the crayfish and steak, the surf and turf. And the reason this is up there is because I just enjoy being in water and foraging in water, and so getting the crayfish was an absolute dream. I just loved it. It was freezing and I maybe stayed in a little bit too long, but I absolutely loved it. And then just cooked it with a ribeye, just kept it really simple, and it just worked. and the things behind it as well. It was a recap on the show as your steak, so it all just sort of, it was the perfect storm really, and it made for good eating. So that's number 4. Number 3, right, we're getting into the big boys now, top 3. But number 3 is Joey D's sea bass that he caught when we were surviving on the coast, and we took very minimal rations. We hardly had anything because the idea was to survive on what we could catch and what we could forage. And we were fishing relentlessly, and then it was one of the last casts because the tides had shifted and we were on this rock out at the sea, and he pulled in a bass, and the elation. And I know if you're watching this, Joey D, you'll be reliving it with me now. The elation was like a lottery win. I can only imagine. Just pure primal happiness, knowing that we were going to eat well and that we'd put a lot of effort into getting this fish. Many people have said that it looks a little bit small, and I agree. It might look a little bit small, and I am sorry for that. But we were sort of in a survival situation. We put ourselves in a survival situation, and we didn't know any better really. So it was. I'm going to say for the purpose of the video, it was bang on legal limit, and it was delicious. It didn't die in vain. It was really appreciated, and it was delicious. And we had that with a few limpets and some velvet crabs, and it was just a lovely, no seasoning, just as nature intended. Delicious. In at number 2, and this would have been number 1 would it not have been for everything that surrounded number 1. So number 2 is the lobster that me and Joey D had in the woods, because I put a lot of work went into getting this lobster. I didn't drink. I watched my boy drinking his wine and his beers, and I stayed sober because I knew I was going out into the sea and I just wanted to have a clear head. The conditions weren't great. The currents were pretty mad and visibility was low. And we got in, got out, I got back in again, got back out, and then I said, right, one more, mate. I'm just going to go for one more. And I bagged it. I bagged the lobster. Heroically bagged this lobster, and we went into the woods and just cooked it simply over the coals. And the taste oh man, it was just, obviously no seasoning on it, but it was delicious. The smokiness from the fire, and the whole story behind it, and the fact that the amount of hard work that went into getting it. Really appreciated that one. That is up there, one of the best meals I've ever had in my life, let alone campfire meals. And that would have been the winner for me if it wasn't for the stuff that surrounds the number 1. So coming in at number 1 on the list is the steak in Northern Monk butter sauce that I cooked when I did the Shows Your Steak challenge. Not only it was a good quality meat and a good quality cut, the butter sauce with the beer reduction and stuff just really made it. And it's everything. It's everything that surrounds it as well. It's not just how delicious it was, which it was, but it transcended its culinary delights, because it went on to become it went viral, and it went global, and from the amount of messages that I got from it, it really did help people. If it would have still gone viral and helped so many people, then it's still getting in. It doesn't matter whether it's a steak or whether it's like a deep fried Cadbury's cream egg. It just so happens it was also very delicious, and I'm very proud of that one, and I'm very humbled by the support for it, and I'm touched at how many people it helped, and still continues to help people. I was tagged just the other day in something to do with the Shows Your Steak challenge, which it's pretty humbling, it's pretty amazing. And so it has to be number 1. It just has to be number 1. The best campfire meal that I've had so far. I've enjoyed that. I've enjoyed a little... it's been really enjoyable looking back over some of the culinary exploits that myself and Joey D have had out in the wilderness. Take care of yourselves. Namaste. Oh, got to stop saying that. I can't hijack namaste. The arrogance of hijacking such a word for myself. Namaste. Namaste hydrated. Right. We'll send this brew off in a wanna. USA, USA. Right. Thanks for watching. Take care. I'll see you soon. The circle of life. What's it like?
It's too strong. Oh, is it good?
No.
Are we in?
It's amazing.
Is it? We're in.
Yeah, it's like pudding.
I'm like Jordan, trying to rise onto the top. Me, I'm trying to be an icon from the jump. They were war, then I let bygones be bygones. Cause they bars all are gone by the month. Me, I'm trying to be an icon from the jump. They were war, then I let bygones be bygones. Cause they bars all are gone by the month.